Hi everybody, it's Gail from Blue Rose Paper Treasures, and I'm going to take you through the 4 gift boxes that I designed. That I spent a long time. I wasted so much paper. So I'm actually using different DSP for this, but you can make these would be great for Christmas presents, but I didn't have any Christmas paper. So I'm going to begin. The first one I made was a little Ferrero Rocher gift box. And I'll just take the ribbon off. And it's just got 3 little chocolates in it with a nice lid with the cutout on the lid, and the box measures 4 by 1 3/4. So these are your cutting pieces which you've got in your instructions, the box and the lid, and these are all your DSP pieces, and that was the second die from the stitch rectangles, and that fit just nicely in there. So I'll just pop all this away, and I'm not going to make the complete project, so I'm just going to show you how I cut it and put it together. The pink lines are score lines, and I've tried to do green over the trimming lines. So I'll start with the box first. It's 7 by 4.5, and you're just going to score 1.5 on all 4 sides. And then facing it lengthways, you're just going to trim. I have scored it. I probably should have folded them first. I didn't do that bit. Alright, so it's 1.5 on all 4 sides. And you want to trim them this way so that they've got somewhere to attach to. If you trimmed it the other way, you can't attach the sides. So you're just trimming right up to the score line on all 4 sides. And I've used scrap paper here because I just ran out of so much. I'm just going to use my tape runner because it's quicker. And you're just going to put adhesive right there on that where the score line is, because that's the bit that's going to attach, and just a bit down the bottom. You can use Terran tape. A liquid adhesive just takes too long to hold, because then you have to hold it in place. So I just use my tape runner or Terran tape. Terran tape takes too long while I'm doing a video. So there's your box. So you're just simply going to fold each one in. Alright, if it sticks up a little bit, you can always taper the edges. I'm actually going to tape them. So just snip a little bit off each one. It'll just help it so the box sits flush. So just on the tab bit, you're just going to snip a little bit out of the corners. Whoops. I should have done that first. Oh. Because you want the box to sit flat. Alright, so it's just taking a little bit out of each corner. Alright, so lining it up and just popping all 4 corners in so that the top is sitting flush. And there's your box. And that'll fit 3 Ferrero Rochers in it. And that's all we need to do for the box part of it. For the lid, we'll do the same thing. In my score lines. Alright, so there's your lid. So this one's 6 1/4 by 4, and you're going to score it at 1 1/8 on all 4 sides. And we're going to do the same thing with the lid. And what's going to happen is we have all our DSP pieces, which I think I might have trimmed them a bit thick by the look of it. I think I've trimmed them a bit thick. So there's all your DSP pieces, and that will be your one in the middle. We don't put these ones on yet, we do put them on last. So the first one we're going to put on is the one in the centre, because we need to die cut that rectangle out of that. When you're putting your adhesive on here, once again, don't use liquid, use a tape runner or Terran tape, and you want to put it all over so that when you cut the rectangle out, it comes out, and there's tape all around it to hold the rest of it down. Alright, so then we grab our stitched rectangle, which is going to go right there. Now fortunately this is a very small piece, so we can easily die cut this. And making sure that's straight. You don't want a crooked opening. Whoops, my paper. And there's your opening. So what we then do is a piece of window sheet goes over the back. And once again, window sheet will only attach with tape. You can't use liquid adhesive with that. So I just put a little bit all the way around. Don't worry about my scribble on the back. That was me working out my measurements. There's your window sheet. And now we trim it the same way. So I'm going to trim it, and I'm going to taper those little corners again. And the other side. I'm just taking a tiny little notch out just to make it easier to fold under. Alright, and the same thing, this is when we'd put our DSP on. I actually think I might have cut mine a bit thick, but I'll put it on and we'll see how it looks. I've used the Abigail Rose DSP. I think I have cut that too thick. I don't think... It'll be right in the instructions, I've just trimmed it wrong when I've been doing this. So you have two pieces on the flaps of the box. It's going to look beautiful with that pink line in it. And one on each end. Yeah, I think I've trimmed them a little bit too wide. You've got all the measurements in the instructions. Alright, and then once again, just adhesive on right up where the score line is. You could make so many of these so quickly, and it's good for using up small bits of DSP. So once again, folding it over. Folding it over. And making sure you use basic white thick so that it's a nice sturdy box. Ta-da! And there's the box. And there's the lid. All done. Okay, disregard, obviously, you know, I'm using what I've been working on, so I didn't have to cut a whole bunch of other stuff. But that's your first box. And that one's done. And then I pop the ribbon on it, or you put a little ribbon with a tag on it. But you can make lots of those for all sorts of gifts. That's the first one for me. I'll turn this off and I'll start a new video with the next project. Thanks a lot. Hi everybody, I'm back with the next project. This one is the little box that holds the tea light candles, and there's actually 6 tea light candles in there. And the box that we're going to create will open from the top. And that's very sturdy, they won't fall out. It's a nice strong box because I've used basic white thick. And I've just done it as a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card size, I think I did. Oh, let's see if I can refresh my memory. Yep, 5.5 by 4 1/4. So there's 3 parts to this, the box, the cover and the pocket. So I'll take you through those. So this one here is your cover. You can see that's your cover, and it's just 9.5 by 5. Score at 4 1/4, and then I flipped it and 4 1/4 again, so that I knew that it was 4 1/4 exactly on both ends. Your matte pieces will be 2 pieces, which are your inside ones. You'll need 2 blue ones. In the DSP, they'll all be the same size. So they'll be 5 1/4 by 4. So that's your cover, and basic white thick to make it nice and strong. And once you add the layers to it, it does really strengthen it. The box for this one is 6 3/4 by 8, or I should say 8 by 6 3/4, and I'm just going to double check that. That's 8 by 6 3/4, yep. So there's the box. So we're going to do the same sort of thing. All your score lines are in pink, so you're going to score at 1/2, 1 1/4, 4 1/4, and 5. And then you're going to rotate it anti-clockwise, and you're going to score at 1/2, 1 1/4, and then 6. And that's all the scoring that we need to do. And then you're going to cut out all these other pieces that I've marked in black. So once again, we're going to taper the bottom. Whoop, need to trim that there and taper it. Trim it and taper it, just so the little flappy bits fold in, and I can never get them off. Oh goodness. And the same with that one. So trim up and snip, trim up and just snip the little corner out of it. Alright, we don't need that bottom bit, so we'll do another little tapered corner. So that's gone. We don't need all of that and all of that. My advice is to do a prototype and have it sitting on your desk as you make these. So make the first one to make sure it all works properly and it all folds, and then just leave, like what I've done, do a prototype like this and leave it on your desk as you're making them. Alright, so we're going to snip that corner, we're going to snip down to there, and that one, so that will fold in. That's the little top that'll fold over, so that'll be the top of the box. Snip it, snip it. We're going to cut all that bit out and down to there, and then that last little bit, and cut that down and snip the corners. And that's all the parts that we're going to take off the box. So that's what you will be left with. For this one, I also used the stitch rectangles, and I think I used, that was the third smallest one. So we're going to do basically the same thing. We're going to die cut our stitch rectangle first. So we need to put our DSP on there. So this piece of DSP, still using the Abigail Rose, and I think that was, oh, what was it? 4 1/2. Oh, what was it? 4 by 5 1/4. That's right. No, that's not right. What was it? It was 2 3/4 by 4 1/2. So once again, we're going to pop tape on that all over. Obviously you'll do a better job than what I do when I'm doing a video. So this is where we're going to cut the panel from, and it needs to be on the left hand side without all of this here. And you'll understand when we fold it. So once again, now this is going to be too wide to fit into the big shop. We're not going to feed it all the way through, but I will just fold those ones down a bit. And that's it. And we're not going to feed it right through. Now, you know when you're putting something with a straight edge in a big shot, you can't go straight on. You need to be on a bit of an angle. So I'm going to try and get a slight angle on that, and I'm hoping that's straight. I'm not going to feed this all the way through because we don't want to get marks all over the rest of it. So we're just going to feed it through until it, until it clicks. There we go, and back again. Yeah, probably wasn't quite on an angle, but we were limited with space. So those can come back up now. Alright, and you can always save that for another project. So there, that now will become the front of the box. You'll put the same window sheet behind that. And we've already snipped all the places that we needed to snip. And I also forgot to burnish my score lines again, which is a lot harder to do once you've already trimmed all the bits off. Alright. Alright, so that's what you'll have, and then you'll have your DSP pieces will go on, which I can probably put them on. So you don't put the strips and everything on until you've done the main part, done the front bit with the opening. And they look a little bit narrow. I've done one too thick and one too narrow. Oh dear. Oops. This one has only got strips down the left and right side. So you put your strips on and now you can assemble. So what we need to do, whoops, I still haven't burnished all my score lines. That one and that one. Alright, so what's going to happen is that is going to fold and attach to that, and then your little bottom pieces go up. And that front one folds under, so you've got the opening at the back so you can't see it. And then the top and the bottom go in, the left and right, and then the little flap goes in the top. So what we need to do is we need to put adhesive on that 1/2 inch strip. And adhesive on the little bottom flaps. And then tape on the inside of where the front will be. Alright, so tape there, there and there, turn it over and tape along there. And you'll understand why. So flaps go up, fold it around and fold the back of it in. Alright, so the back gets attached first, then attach the bottom, and then the side. Look. And then the side. And then the two top flaps get pushed in just like a normal box, and then you close it. And there's that box. And they're all got the same thing. They've all got an opening with window sheet or acetate behind it, and that one will fit 6 little tea light candles in it. Then once you've decorated your front, so you'll decorate the spine and the left and right, the spine, the front cover, and then the box will just get attached. And I do attach that with liquid glue, and I just hold it in place for a while because you've got a bit of wiggle room when you're using liquid glue. And that's all there is to that box. Alright, we'll go on to the next one now. Thanks a lot, bye. Hello, Gail's back again. I hadn't finished off the other card, so we'll do the final part of it. I said that the base was 5.5 by 4 1/4. So we're actually going to, I made a boo-boo, so I'm just going to fix that. So this is a piece of 5 1/4 by 4. So you'll need 2 of those in cardstock plus your centerpiece. and the same size for the cover in DSP, or whatever you want to do. The little mat pocket, and I've done it again. The little was 4.5 by 2 3/4. So 4.5 by 2 3/4, and I've just scored it 1/4 of an inch on the bottom and the left and right. And we're just going to snip the corners out of that, fold it under to create a little pocket. So once again, I'm just tapering those corners. And I'm going to use, I don't know if I'll be able to use my glue. Yep, we use that one. I use, normally because it's 1/4, I would use 3/8 inch, but I'm going to try and use my tape runner, which seems to be working. Alright, little pocket, and then that will just sit flush with the bottom. And there's your pocket. And then I just added a little bit of border across the top. You could do whatever you like with it. And the last thing was just a little note card in the pocket there. And I think from memory that was 4 by 3. And they're just your mat pieces that you can put on it. So it's a 6 by 4 and just score it 3. And there's your little card to go in the little pocket. So that's all there is with that, and I've just lost the box that I just made for it. Where's the box go that I just made for it? Oh, I don't know where the box has gone that I just made for it. Oh, isn't that bizarre? Anyway, that's the project. We'll go on to the next one now. Okay, I'm back with project number 3. And this one I really like. This is really cute. This is a 4 by 4 card base. I think that was 1.5 inch. I'm not sure what that was. Let me see. It was quite wide. 1.5 inch. And a little 3 by 3 box that will hold 4 Ferrero Rocher chocolates. And this one also opens from the top. And I've used basic white thick again to make a nice strong box. And that's really sturdy. Those chocolates aren't going to fall out of that. And the ribbon goes right around. So before you put your layers on, attach a strip of ribbon, and that'll just hold it nicely closed. So the card itself, or the wraparound bit, is 9.5 by 4, and score it at 4, flip it, and 4 at the other end. So I'll fold those. So then your mat pieces become 3 3/4 square and then 3.5 square. Now that's the base. And the box of this one, exactly the same as the other one that we just did, they're just different sizes. So this one is 8 3/4 long by 5 3/4 high, or whatever. You're going to score 1/4, 1.5, 4.5, and 5 3/4. Then you're going to rotate it anti-clockwise and score it at 1/4, 1.5, and 4.5. And once again, your opening will be on the right hand side, and we're going to snip away all those extra pieces that we don't need. But first, I'm going to score it. I'm going to burnish my score lines, which I forgot to do last time. It's going to make it easier. Oh, it's very thick. Oh, those little 1/4 inch ones are very hard to fold over. Okie doke. Once again, we'll just begin. So we're going to snip right up on the score line and snip the corner. And the same with that one. And snip away that corner bottom piece. And And snip all that away. Down and fold over at the top of the box, make it easier. Trim all the way down there. Snip that little corner. I love making boxes, it's my favourite thing. I get such satisfaction out of designing them and coming up with great sizes, and they're good ways to use up DSP, because I always end up with so much of it. And then cut that last bit off. And there we have what's left over. Now we've tapered all those corners so that the folds will go nice and easily. Once again, I used another die, and I think I used the third, maybe the fourth one. You don't want one too big because you've got to think about attaching the acetate behind it, and I think that was the fourth largest one of the Stylish Shapes dies. Alright, so we need a piece of DSP. So that was 2 3/4 square. So same thing, put tape all over it, tear and tape. And then attach it over there. Alright, once again, this is not going to fully fit into the big shot. So we just need to fold them over. Bring the big shot in. And we can got a little bit of room here, although we don't need to turn this on an angle because it's a circle. So pop your, doesn't have to be a circle, you can put whatever shape you are, just don't let it go too close to the edge of the DSP square, because then you'll have a hard time keeping everything in. There we go. Okay. So once again, keep that circle for another project. Like I did with this one, the circle that I took out of there, I actually put on the front of it because it was so pretty I didn't want to waste it. I could have used it for something else, but I wanted to use it for this project. Oh, by the way, this is a new, not frame florets, I can't remember what the DSP is. This is all coming out for customers on the 1st of December, on the 1st of November, and it will be in the new mini catalogue. And it's called, and I can't remember, Fitting Florets, I think it's called. I think that's what it's called, Fitting Florets. I can't remember, but I'll have the name, I'll write it in the instructions anyway. So once again, you'll put your 3 1/4 or 2 3/4 piece of window sheet on the back of it to hold your chocolates in. And this one I put a piece of DSP on the top and the left and the right. So I should have 3 pieces, and they should all be the same size because it is a square box. And they will go like that. I don't know why I bought so much Abigail Rose DSP, and it's more than I'll ever use in a lifetime. I think I got excited because it was really nice. So I'm now using it up for other projects. So that'll be the lid and the left and right sides. Okay, and once again we're going to put tape across the bottom of that flap, making sure you're putting it right up on the score line. I'll get that out of the way. And we're going to put it on our strap that's going to attach to the box. And then, so that will go there, and then on that piece, on the piece where the hole is, that's right. I should have remembered that. So put the flap up, put the other flap up, and attach it to the back. Alright, fold the little 1/4 inch in, close the side, or you can close the bottom first, whichever. Close the bottom, and now the side, and then your top and bottom, your left and right, I always do that, and then that little 1/4 inch will fold into the box, and there we have it. So then we'll have, after we put all our layers on our base card or our fold over wraparound, the little box will just have liquid adhesive on the back, and just, I actually put the chocolates in it and the candles before I glue it down. That way it's got a bit of weight, and then that's all there is to it. Just remember, put your ribbon on first, and then put your, alright, so put your ribbon on first and then put your matte pieces on. Do your layers, as many as you like. Got layer on the left there, that's where you'll write your sentiment. Another layer on the right, and the box will go on top. And that's it. My box didn't work out so well because I actually didn't use the good DSP on that, the good cardstock, so it's not exactly great. So that's box number 3, and that's my favourite one because it's actually got more chocolates in it, so I'm happy with that one. Alright, we'll go on to the last one now. Thanks a lot, bye. Hi, it's Gail again, back with the last box, and this is for the large tea light candles, but you could put anything in it. Like I said, if it's for Christmas, you can put Christmas candy in there, you could put cookies in there, you can put photos, you can make it into like a little mini album. So this is the last one, and the cover measures 5 by 4.5. And I love this because there's lots of DSP on it. So these are really big candles in here, and a nice big sturdy box, and I haven't actually attached that yet. So, and I did that as an accident, but I'm glad I didn't attach it, so I can show you how that we're putting it together. This one you will need 12 by 12 cardstock to make this project. So we'll get going. Alright, so you will need, to make the crossover, or the big cross, you need one piece that's 12 by 5, and you're going to score it at 2.5, 3 5/8, 8 1/4, and 9 3/8. So I'm going to fold these as I go so I don't forget. Alright, so that's your one piece, and that's going to sit like that. Then you're going to need 2 pieces the same, 6 by 4.5, scoring at 4 1/4 and 5 3/8. And this is very similar to a keepsake box or a memory box I made a while ago, just a bit smaller. Alright, so the little, I think it's 1/4 of an inch or maybe 1/2 an inch on the end, one is going to be attached to the top, and that'll go over that way, and the same with the bottom. So I would normally use liquid glue, and I might do that because you need to be able to move this in case you don't line it up properly. So I'm going to use liquid glue. So I just fold it over and line it up in between the 2 score lines. And as I come down, I just make sure that it's following those score lines, so I know that I've got it in there fairly straight. Alright, so that's the first one. And then I just turned it up the other way and did the same thing. Put some glue on that fold over bit. And lined it up. And it should line up perfectly with the bottom one. So I just wiggled it around so that I know that they're actually spot on lined up. and that's the basis of the outer box. We'll call that the outer box. So that is what that is. All the pieces will go on. You've got all the instructions. I've actually got all the sizes here. 4 3/4 by 2 1/4. You'll need them on the front and as you fold in as well. All your heights, you'll need 4 of those and 4 for the outside. So if you have a look, you've got 4 there, you've got there, then you turn it over and you've got exactly the same on the other side. So you need multiple mat pieces. And if you want to put another one on there to give it a bit more strength, you could put another piece on the bottom. Okay, so you're decorating both front and back. What I did with the middle bit, just to give it a little bit, because I didn't want to sit the box just directly on that, even though it kind of covers it, you've still got where the end of the 2 top and bottom flaps go. So I just grabbed another piece of cardstock that was almost the same size, and that actually gave it a bit more weight as well, making sure that it's not impinging on the score lines. That probably may need to, that needs to be just trimmed off a tiny little bit. There's no precise measurement for this, although I did have the measurement in there, and I'm just going to shave a tiny bit off that, just so that I can put that flat on the bottom. That folds over. Always measure twice and cut once. I have learnt that. Alright, so then, I mean, everyone will cut and score differently, even though everyone's machines are different and calibrated differently. But just pop that right on the centre, just making sure that they all fold over. Yep. That's good, and it just gives it a little bit more weight on the bottom, and then your little box will sit on the top. You can only see like a tiny little bit of it, if at all, but I just felt more confident having that there, and it actually came out to be 4 3/8 by 4 7/8. Alright, so don't forget, that's what I've done with this one. I've added a white piece in the middle. Of course, I did use blue and I wanted white behind it as well, so that I could continue on the colour. And then add 4 of those on that side, 4 on the outside, and 4 flaps, and 4 of those. And that's all the DSP that I could use without running out of it completely. Alright, so that's the cover done. There's nothing else we need to do with the cover. When it folds up, it's left and right, and then bottom and top. And that's how that will fold up. So this box is a much bigger box, but once again, it's really sturdy. And like I said, the candles will open up at the top. I've die cut the second largest. I die cut the second largest stitch circle from the Stylish Shapes, and then I just did I die cut both of them together to get my little white border around there, and that was the largest and the second largest. So here's our box, all same as all the other ones. They're just all different sizes, and I'm just going to fold my score lines again. Oh, let's have a look. Alright, so this one is 12 by 6.5. You're going to score it half, 1.5, 6 1/4, 7 1/4. Then you're going to flip it, doesn't matter which way, because you do 1 and 1. It doesn't matter. This one's slightly different than all the other boxes, and I can't work out why. Oh, because it goes that way. That's right, this box is a bit different because it actually goes that way. All the other boxes we did go that way. It's a bit different. Alright, so finish folding. And this box measured 5 by 4.5, I think. 5 by 4.5, the other side. Alright, so this one's going to go that way. So once again, we're going to snip off I'm just going to put the lid on my glue. Snip all the flaps. And I made a bit of a mess of this one. Whoop. And snip that bit away. Nope, that goes that way. Whoops. Had to think how to do that then. I've done the green lines the wrong way. Alright. That one, that one. Okie doke, so this one is going to fold up that way and over. So once again, this is a very big piece. So I think with this one I folded top and bottom over before I ran it through the big shop. Where's that circle? Once again, I attached my DSP. Pop that on. So remember, when you're die cutting your shape, try and remember that if it's too big, it's going to cut into your flaps and it will show. I noticed that when I did one, I cut it a bit big and I think that might be the wrong one. No, that's right. I don't know how I did it before, but it seemed to work. So I'll just bring the big shot in to do this last one. No. Line it up. And then just wind it in until you hear it, the second click. That's it. Oh, I've got paper everywhere. Okie doke, so that came out. Alright, so this one is going to fold up a little bit differently. So we need tape on that and tape on that. So that's going to be the bottom. So, and that'll get attached to the front of the box. Alright, and then those two will go inside. So I probably should have put tape on them first, but no, we'll do that now. Alright, so that goes inside because you want the join at the back where you don't see it. That one. That one. I sometimes just use a bone folder. And then the two top flaps go down this time. If I can get them in. Yeah, this is old. This is not even Stampin' Up! Cardstock. It's some old stuff I had and it's not very strong. But I didn't have anything else in 12 by 12, so I had to use this. That's why it's not very strong. But if you use proper basic white, it'll be nice and strong. And there's the box. Once again, don't forget to put your window sheet behind it. Put your candles or cookies or whatever you want to put in there, because the weight of that will help that. Once you put all liquid glue on the back, pop that down and the weight of all that and just hold it in there. And that'll be nice and secure, left and right, top and bottom. And I finished it off with a nice big ribbon, which just to hold it all together. But you don't have to do that, but I just like ribbon, even though I can't really tie nice bows. And one's a bit loose. Yep. And there you have it. And there's that project all done. So start with all of that, make your box, and this one used all 12 by 12, and that will go up, and that comes down, and that project's done. And you've got all the measurements for all the mat pieces and the DSP pieces, and everything's there in your instruction sheet. That's all there is. There's a lot here. Go away, have some fun. This should keep you busy for quite some time. Thanks for sharing these with me and joining me, and I'll chat to you soon. Bye.